You are constantly pulled in two directions. On one side, the business demands speed, faster releases, rapid innovation, competitive differentiation, market responsiveness. On the other side, security demands discipline, control, validation, risk assessment, governance. If you lean too far towards speed, you accumulate hidden exposure. If you lean too far towards security rigidity, you slow innovation and frustrate teams. Your role as a leader or architect is not to eliminate this tension. It is to manage it intelligently. This lecture is about how you make risk-based decisions that balance speed and security practically, strategically, and consistently. One of the biggest misconceptions in digital transformation is that speed and security are opposites. They are not. In immature environments, they appear to conflict because security is introduced late and manually. When vulnerabilities are found just before release, delays occur. That delay creates resentment. Security becomes the blocker. But in mature DevSecOps environments, security is embedded early and automated. That integration reduces last-minute surprises. Your responsibility is to move from reactive security to predictive security. When security is part of design and pipeline validation, speed becomes more stable, not slower. The real conflict is not speed versus security, it is unmanaged speed versus governed speed. Security decisions are business decisions. Every vulnerability carries probability of exploitation, potential business impact, reputational consequences, regulatory implications, financial exposure. When a release deadline approaches and security findings exist, you face a choice. Do you delay release? Do you accept risk temporarily? Do you apply compensating controls? These decisions cannot be left solely to developers or security analysts. They require leadership judgment. Risk-based decision-making means evaluating severity of the issue, exposure surface, data sensitivity, threat landscape, business urgency, mitigation options, clarity of risk appetite guides consistency. Without defined risk appetite, decisions become inconsistent. One team may release with high-risk vulnerabilities. Another may delay unnecessarily for low-risk findings. You must define what level of vulnerability severity blocks release, what remediation timelines are acceptable, which systems require zero tolerance, what constitutes acceptable compensating controls. When expectations are documented and communicated, teams operate confidently. Ambiguity creates friction. Clarity creates predictability. While security leaders often focus on risk exposure, you must also consider opportunity cost. Delaying a product release may impact market share, affect revenue projections, reduce customer trust if competitors innovate faster, delay critical business capabilities. Risk management is not about eliminating risk. It is about balancing different types of risk. Sometimes, the risk of delay is higher than the risk of controlled exposure. Your role is to evaluate both sides objectively. Imagine a scenario. A high-severity vulnerability is discovered in a dependency. Patching requires significant code refactoring. The release window is approaching. The product contains sensitive data but is behind strong authentication and network controls. You must decide: immediate release with patch, temporary compensating controls, delayed deployment, limited rollout. Risk-based leadership means asking, is active exploitation occurring? What is the likelihood of exposure? Can runtime monitoring mitigate short-term risk? Is the system externally accessible? What regulatory implications exist? Balanced decisions consider both security severity and operational feasibility. Excessive security controls can create developer frustration. For example, overly complex approval processes, excessive manual reviews, poorly tuned scanning tools, constant pipeline failures due to low-risk findings. If security slows development excessively, Teams look for workarounds. Your challenge is to ensure that high-risk issues are enforced strictly. Low-risk issues are prioritized intelligently. Tools are tuned for relevance. Feedback loops are fast and actionable. Security should elevate engineering quality, not create bureaucratic paralysis. Automation is one of your most powerful balancing mechanisms. When security validation is automated, developers receive immediate feedback. Vulnerabilities are caught early. Manual bottlenecks reduce. Release predictability improves. Automated controls enable you to maintain speed while preserving standards. Where security relies on manual review, speed suffers. Where security is embedded in automation, speed stabilizes. There will be times when you consciously accept risk. But risk acceptance must be structured. You should require formal documentation, defined expiration dates, executive visibility for high severity exposures, defined compensating controls, periodic review. Unmanaged risk acceptance becomes silent exposure. Managed risk acceptance becomes informed strategy. Transparency protects leadership credibility. Not all systems require the same control intensity. Customer-facing payment systems demand stricter controls than internal reporting tools. Critical infrastructure environments require stronger safeguards than low-impact test environments. Risk-based balance means tailoring control intensity based on impact classification. Uniform control models often create unnecessary friction. Differentiated governance improves efficiency. Every security incident provides insight into risk decision quality. When incidents occur, ask, were vulnerabilities previously known? Was risk accepted knowingly? Were monitoring controls sufficient? Was remediation delayed due to business pressure? Learning from incidents strengthens future trade-offs. Mature organizations adapt their risk thresholds based on empirical evidence. Your messaging must consistently reinforce balanced priorities. If you celebrate release speed but ignore security posture in executive updates, teams absorb that signal. If you publicly recognize secure engineering discipline alongside delivery milestones, behavior shifts. Leadership tone influences culture. When security is part of performance discussion, it becomes normalized. Transparent reporting reduces tension between security and delivery teams. If dashboards show vulnerability trends, remediation progress, deployment velocity, risk acceptance backlog, teams can see that decisions are informed, not arbitrary. Transparency reduces emotional friction and builds trust. Security culture often defaults to fear. Fear of breach, fear of audit, fear of blame. Fear-based governance creates defensiveness. Instead, promote shared accountability, clear risk evaluation, constructive escalation pathways, psychological safety in raising concerns. Balanced decisions require open dialogue, not intimidation. In a mature organization, risk appetite is clearly defined. Security gates align with severity thresholds. Automated validation reduces friction. Risk acceptance is documented and reviewed. Leadership dashboards reflect balanced metrics. Developers understand why controls exist. Trade-offs are deliberate, not reactive. Security and delivery leaders collaborate regularly. Speed and security coexist. Ask yourself, do you have a clearly defined risk appetite? Are release decisions guided by consistent thresholds? Is risk acceptance transparent and time-bound? Are security tools tuned to minimize noise? Do executive dashboards reflect both velocity and risk? Do teams trust the governance model? If answers are unclear, your balance may be fragile. Intentional balance creates stability. If this lecture has sharpened your perspective on balancing speed and security, act strategically. Clarify your organization's risk appetite. Review current release gating thresholds. Evaluate risk acceptance governance. Tune automated controls for relevance. Align executive dashboards to reflect both agility and resilience. Do not let speed override discipline, and do not let discipline suffocate innovation. If you found value in this session, subscribe to the DevSecOps for Leaders playlist. Like this video so it reaches more leaders and architects, and share your thoughts in the comments. How does your organization manage the tension between speed and security? In the next lecture, you will explore DevSecOps tooling strategy and how to avoid tool sprawl while maintaining architectural coherence.